Merry meet and welcome to Witchy Wednesday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube. Moderating today are the lovely Deline and the lovely Shirley. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. Just make sure, if you haven't done so already, that you like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. Our website's located at arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. You can find all kinds of witchy tips and spells and other cool witchy stuff, plus full-length courses, booklets, lectures, videos, articles, all kinds of cool stuff. So check it out, arielscorner.com. While you're there, you'll notice on the header and footer of every page, there are links to our social media, and two of those links are of special import to those of you who want to be more involved in the community. One is our private Facebook group, and the other one is our Discord server. We have a chat thread here on the live stream as well, so please chat amongst yourselves. If you have a question for me, you can put it in that chat thread, and I will do my very best to get to the question before the end of the stream. Wednesdays have been days where I've had to cut the streams pretty short just because of my crazy work schedule. But if I don't for some reason get to your question and I can't answer it, whatever, just bring it on over to the Discord server or to the private Facebook group and we'll get it answered there. We have a podcast hub, and that's located at arielspodcasts.com. And we also have a shop, and that's located at arielscornershop.com. If you'd like to donate to this channel, you can do so by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga. Or on YouTube, you could use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks if you feel like giving a donation on that platform. If you don't like using PayPal or YouTube, but you do want to give a donation, on our website in the footer of those pages, you can find a donate link, and that will allow you to use a credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, and all the other kinds of payment that you might want to use. We do appreciate your support, and we appreciate you for being here today. All right, Today we are going to do a banishing spell, and I apologize if I've already shown this to you before. I don't think I have, but if I did and I just never made it into a full-length video, then I missed that. So you'll just have to watch it again. It's a very simple spell, as most of mine are, and it's really effective. It's important before we work the spell to understand the theory behind it. So for those of you who are not familiar with the elemental order of creation as taught by many alchemical and magical traditions, it is the following: fire, water, air, earth. It was considered by many ancient cultures, fire was considered by many ancient cultures to be the first element, and the element that was the closest to the divine here on earth. And it was also believed, and it is still taught, that in order for something to manifest in the world, its opposite must also be manifest. So when fire was presented or created in the physical, automatically its opposite was created as well, fire and water. The fire and water related to one another, and they created a reaction, and that is called steam or air. At the end of that bubbling off process, the sediment that was left over was considered the result, and that is earth. So that's the basic idea behind creation in many hermetic and alchemical schools, and also the order of creation that works for all magic. So when we are banishing something, it would make sense to reverse that order, and so that's what we're going to do today. All right, this is not necessary for you to have an athame. If you don't have one, don't worry. That's not absolutely necessary. But you may want to have some sort of fireproof implement, and you'll see why in a moment. The first thing we have to do is name what we are eliminating. Now, I always recommend that you try to work somewhat within your sphere of influence, especially if you're first starting out. Start with something small-ish, something that's just, a minor annoyance, but doesn't feel like out of the realm of possibility for you. So whatever that is, maybe, and don't be too ambiguous with your goal either. You want to maybe banish something that's a specific thing. So instead of saying I want to banish all poverty from my life, it's better to I want to banish this bill. I want to banish this habit, something like that. So, for instance, let's say you had a well, this one for like banishing debt. To say I want to banish all debt might be a bit of a stretch, but you could banish the debt for one credit card, right? So let's say that you had a credit card that you owed, I don't know, $1,000 or $1,500. So you don't write a petition like, please banish my debt. You're just writing out what the thing is. So let's say it's my debt to Visa. You would probably actually name your Visa card for $1,500, or of $1,500, I should have said. I'm just gonna, no, we'll just leave that. I'll probably redo that. Okay, so then you're just gonna put this to the side. I lied. I'm going to redo that. That way, if I redo it now, I can actually use it. If I decide to make this into a longer video, sorry, just bear with me. So let's say it was a Capital One Visa. We'll just do it better. My $1,500 debt to Capital One on my Visa card. Okay, so that's what you're banishing. We're going to put this to the side. So all we did was name it. We didn't do any, oh, we don't want that in there. All we did was name it. We're not asking a deity or an angel or something like that for help. This is not a petition. So we are just naming it. So for all intents and purposes, that $1,500 debt to Capital One is on this paper. All right. So we'll put that to the side. And then we want to take some tools here. I'm just going to put my Thurible, but if you have any kind of firebowl or something that's fireproof, I wonder if I can, let me see if I can fix this camera angle so it's better to see. Oh, it's going to be worse. Okay. We're going to redo that. Obviously, everything on our lives is just footage that I sometimes use for other videos. Okay, so we're going to have some sort of fire bowl. We're going to have some sort of some sort of chalice. I'm just using this as my chalice, this mug, with a little bit of water. You only need a little bit of water. You need some salt, a dish of salt that's deep enough to bury your paper in, and then some incense. And in my case, I'm just using some spray cologne. This is just an eau de cologne. But if you desired to put something on your, use an incense or perfume that you felt related specifically to your desire, that's absolutely fine as well. Okay. So now we're just going to do this. We're going to take this and we're going to bury it in the salt. I didn't put enough salt in there. I'm going to get this. There we go. So we're burying that in the salt. And you're going to just take a moment and think of the solidity of this problem. And you're going to feel the solidity of this problem starting to break apart. The earth part of it, the reality of it, the 3D-ness of it is just starting to unravel, starting to break apart. And when you can get just a sense of that, it doesn't have to be perfect, then you can take that out and you can start considering the thoughts behind it. And you can feel that all of your thinking about this problem is also becoming unraveled. You can either wave this through the incense smoke or spray it with some perfume for the air. This is just completely unraveling in your body, in your reality, and now in your mind. Now, all the feelings that you have about this thing, now you don't want to get this too wet, so you just want to just anoint this. I'm going to do it with my right hand. You just want to anoint this just a little bit. That may have been too much, but that's okay. We'll let it dry a little bit. But you want to start experiencing the feeling that you have about this. Maybe it's just been like a pit in your stomach or something. And you just start experiencing the feeling of this thing starting to just break apart completely. All right, now we are going to light this aflame. Hopefully it'll work. Even though I overdid the wet, I think what I'll do is open it just a wee bit. Okay. I might have gotten the wrong matches too, but that's okay. We'll make it work. And we're just going to light this aflame. And as we are noticing the fire, we are feeling as though whatever the power behind this thing is, the thing that animates it, its very life force is being burned away. It's being extinguished. It's burning itself up. It's destroying itself. The reality of it is destroying itself. Now, this is sometimes where I'll use my athame, but I didn't really need it. All right, and then you just sit for a moment and you experience the freedom of it. And if any of your habitual thought patterns lean back into the problem, just remind yourself, nope, it's been eliminated. There's nothing to see here. The reality of it, the third dimensional reality of it has broken apart. The thoughts behind it have broken apart. The feeling underneath it has been washed away, and the inspiration and very life force that has animated this problem to begin with has now burned up and destroyed itself, and the problem no longer exists. And just sit with that feeling of freedom and release for a few minutes. You don't have to ever feel like you're straining, but when that's done, all you have to do is toss the ashes. Now, you can toss them in the trash can. You can toss them into the air. You can bury them in the earth. But when you toss them, don't make a big deal out of it. That's when we get into trouble sometimes with our banishings, is we put so much into it. We don't want to recreate the problem. We want to treat this as if we're just getting rid of some refuse. We're getting rid of a used piece of tinfoil. You know, we've been cleaning out our refrigerator and we found stuff that we don't need there anymore, and we're putting it down the garbage disposal or whatever it is. It's that kind of attitude. We're taking out the trash because this is gone. This is just an old skeleton of the problem, but the problem itself has already been taken care of through the spell. Now, this is not the kind of spell that you want to repeat. One and done. And you can do this as many times as you want for different things, though. But I would only do one a day. But you could start with, like for instance, this one debt, and start noticing how you feel through your day. Do you feel freer, easier? And notice how much easier it is for you to get this debt paid off. Notice how you feel inspired to get this debt paid off. And then sometimes notice the supernatural or the seemingly supernatural forces at work to get this debt paid off. But at the same time, the least amount of time you consider it and think about it, the better. But it is good to notice occasionally how well things are going for you in regards to whatever you've banished. It is okay to acknowledge that and to feel the freedom of it. But you definitely don't want to obsess over it. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Just have faith. Just have faith that your magic is that powerful, that of course this is a done deal. And then, like I said, you can do it on a different thing on another day, but it's best to work within what you really have faith is possible. And you'll notice that, especially if you're newer at magic, the more if you think about your goal is not so much always the spell itself, but as racking up success, how many successful spells can I cast kind of thing, that is so good for your ability to expand that sphere of influence. Because the more success you have, the more successful your spells are, the easier it is for your spells to be successful. And the easier it is for the spells to be successful on things that at least used to seem kind of big. And so your sphere of influence can expand very rapidly if you really focus on working on things that you know are within the realms of possibility. Because what happens, it's not that you stop doing that. When your sphere of influence expands, you're not working outside of what you believe is possible. You're not working outside of what your faith holds is possible. What you're doing is understanding that what your faith holds as being possible has expanded. So when you look back, maybe over the couple years after you've started doing magic, if you work in this manner, you'll look back and you'll say, oh, wow, what I thought was possible is real different now than what it used to be. Look at me, right? So this is a great spell. It's an easy spell. And if you, for some reason, if you can't burn things, then you can do it all in your mind. You don't have to use these tools. You can visualize yourself doing this. You can just imagine that you're doing this. You can imagine that you are taking your problem out of the earth and feeling the unreality of it. You can feel like you're taking your problem out of the element of air and noticing the thoughts about it dissolving. You can imagine yourself taking the problem out of the element of water as you experience your feelings about this problem dissolving and becoming nullified. You can imagine yourself taking your problem and allowing the fire that ignited it in the first place to burn it out until it's nothing but ashes, and then you see those ashes float away. So you can do it all in your mind. If you can't burn things, or you don't like the idea of burning things in your home, that's fine. You do have a mind and you can still go through the process. All you're doing is reversing the order of creation. So the order of creation to create something is fire, water, air, earth. So you're doing it in the reverse order. You are working with earth, air, water, fire. Hopefully that was interesting for you, and I hope that you have a lot of success with this spell. Thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time, blessed be. Oh, let's see if we have any questions. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, I hope that you use that spell you have a lot of good use from that spell. It's very powerful. Works every time. At least for me it does. And we will see everybody tomorrow for a little bit longer of a stream on our Thrilling Thursday. Thanks again for being here, and thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Shirley and Delene. Until next time, blessed be.